The Godfather, 1972, is one of the greatest films ever made, setting the standard for the gangster genre and launching the careers of its legendary cast. More than 50 years later, the movie remains a cinematic masterpiece. But what happened to the actors who brought the Corleone family to life? Let's take a look at where they are now. Hagen was played by Robert Duvall, who was 41 when he took on the role of the calm and calculating consigliere to the Corleone family.
Since McCluskey's killing, the police have been cracking down most of our operations. And also the other families. Been a lot of bad blood.
His performance brought a quiet intensity to the character, making Tom stand out as the loyal but often overlooked outsider within the family's inner circle. Duvall's controlled, measured delivery made Hagen one of the most compelling figures in The Godfather, even without the ruthlessness of a traditional mobster. Rather than becoming overshadowed by his Godfather fame the way some co-stars did, Duvall built one of the most respected acting careers in Hollywood. He won multiple awards and took on diverse roles, proving his range far beyond crime dramas. However, he shocked many when he turned down The Godfather Part 3 over a salary dispute, famously refusing to be underpaid compared to Al Pacino. Known for his blunt honesty, he has also been outspoken about Hollywood politics, often challenging industry norms. Now 93, Duvall continues acting, maintaining his reputation as one of the greatest character actors of all time. Sonny Corleone was played by James Caan, who was 32 when he took on the role of the hot-tempered and fiercely loyal eldest Corleone's son.
What is it? Hey, it's my sister's wedding.
God damn FBI don't respect nothing.
His explosive energy, violent outbursts, and protective nature made Sonny one of The Godfather's most unforgettable characters. Caan's portrayal of the impulsive yet charismatic heir added depth to the Corleone family dynamic, making his brutal demise one of the film's most shocking moments. Rather than settling into a single acting niche the way some of his Godfather co-stars did, Caan's career was a roller coaster. He delivered critically acclaimed performances in major films, but also made unexpected choices, disappearing from Hollywood for years due to struggles with depression and drug use. Known for his tough guy persona, he shocked fans by revealing he turned down roles in some of the biggest films, including Apocalypse Now. His personal life was equally dramatic, with multiple divorces and a reputation for fiery temper. Caan passed away at 82, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance, controversy, and unforgettable performances. Share your favorite Sonny Corleone moment in the comments as a tribute to his memory and to celebrate his lasting legacy. Kay Adams was played by Diane Keaton, who was 26 when she took on the role of Michael Corleone's devoted, yet ultimately disillusioned wife.
It was an abortion, Michael. It was a son, and I had it killed because this must all end.
Her portrayal of Kay brought an emotional depth that contrasted with the ruthless world of the Corleone family. As her character evolved from an innocent outsider to a woman trapped in a life she never wanted, Keaton delivered a powerful performance that made Kay one of the most tragic figures in The Godfather. Unlike some of her Godfather co-stars who became closely tied to the crime genre, Keaton built a career largely in romantic comedies and dramas. She became a Hollywood icon, known for her quirky fashion and bold personality. However, what shocked many fans was her decision never to marry, despite high-profile relationships with Warren Beatty, Al Pacino, and Woody Allen. She has openly spoken about her unconventional life choices, often challenging societal norms about marriage and family. Now 78, Keaton continues acting, embracing her legacy while remaining as unapologetically independent as ever. Michael Corleone was played by Al Pacino, who was 32 when he took on the role of the reluctant heir to the Corleone empire.
You're gonna search me when I first meet them, right? But if Clemenza can figure a way to have a weapon planted there for, then I'll kill them both.
His transformation from a quiet war hero to a ruthless mafia boss became one of the most compelling character arcs in film history. Pacino's intense, understated performance, paired with his piercing stare and calculated delivery, redefined the modern anti-hero and cemented him as one of Hollywood's greatest actors. Unlike some of his Godfather co-stars who stepped away from the limelight, Pacino remained one of the most dominant figures in Hollywood. He continued delivering legendary performances in crime dramas, thrillers, and even comedies. However, his personal life has been just as dramatic as his films. Known for avoiding marriage despite multiple high-profile relationships, he shocked fans in 2023 when he became a father again at 83. His love life and unconventional choices have often made headlines, proving that his real life is nearly as intense as his on-screen roles. Now 83, Pacino continues acting, solidifying his place as a living Hollywood legend. Connie Corleone was played by Talia Shire, who was 26 when she took on the role of the only daughter in the Corleone family. Her portrayal of Connie's transformation from a naive and abused wife to a hardened, influential figure within the family added an emotional and dramatic depth to The Godfather. Shire's performance brought both vulnerability and strength, making Connie one of the most compelling female characters in the saga. Rather than being typecast in mafia films as some of her co-stars were, Shire found further success in another legendary franchise, playing Adrian in Rocky. However, what many don't realize is that she comes from Hollywood royalty. Her brother is director Francis Ford Coppola, and her nephew is Nicolas Cage. While her connections helped her career, she has also spoken about the struggles of living in the shadow of such a famous family. Now 77, Shire continues to work in independent films, maintaining a quiet presence in Hollywood while preserving her legacy in cinema history. Fredo Corleone was played by John Cazale, who was 37 when he portrayed the insecure and tragically weak middle son of the Corleone family.
You don't come to Las Vegas and talk to a man like Mo Green like that!
Fredo, and I love you, but don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
His performance captured Fredo's desperation for respect and his heartbreaking betrayal, making him one of the most layered characters in The Godfather. Cazale's ability to bring depth and sorrow to the role turned Fredo into a figure of sympathy despite his flaws. Unlike many actors who build long Hollywood careers, Cazale's time in the industry was brief but extraordinary. He starred in only 5 films, and every one of them was nominated for Best Picture. His career was tragically cut short when he was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. What shocked many was that his fiancée, Meryl Streep, stood by his side, even postponing her own rising career to care for him. Cazale passed away at 42, leaving behind a short but unforgettable legacy as one of cinema's greatest character actors. Captain McCluskey was played by Sterling Hayden, who was 56 when he took on the role of the corrupt and brutal NYPD officer.
I thought I got all you guinea hoods locked up. What the hell are you doing here?
What happened to the men who were guarding my father, Captain?
Why, you little punk. What the hell are you doing telling me my business?
His portrayal of McCluskey as an intimidating enforcer of mafia interests made him one of the film's most despised figures, setting up one of The Godfather's most pivotal moments when Michael Corleone takes his revenge. Rather than staying in Hollywood's inner circles like some of his co-stars, Hayden led one of the most unconventional lives in the industry. A former Marine and real-life adventurer, he became infamous for his controversial past as a government informant during the McCarthy era. He later regretted his actions, calling himself a traitor. He also shocked many by frequently abandoning Hollywood to sail the world, sometimes taking his children with him against court orders. Hayden passed away at 70, remembered as a talented actor who never truly embraced fame, choosing a restless and unpredictable life instead. Peter Clemenza was played by Richard S. Castellano, who was 37 when he portrayed the loyal yet ruthless Capo-regime in The Godfather. His performance, filled with charisma and authenticity, made Clemenza a fan favorite, especially with his famous line, "Leave the gun, take the cannoli." His presence gave the Corleone family a sense of tradition and camaraderie, making his absence in the sequel all the more noticeable. Unlike some of his Godfather co-stars who returned for the sequels, Castellano never reprised his role. His departure was surrounded by controversy, with reports suggesting that salary disputes and demands for script control led to his exit. Some believe his insistence on writing his own dialogue clashed with the film's creators, leading to Clemenza's character being written out. His career slowed down afterward, and he kept a low profile in his later years. Castellano passed away at 55, leaving behind an unforgettable mark on one of the greatest films of all time. Salvatore Tessio was played by Abe Vigoda, who was 51 when he took on the role of the quiet yet calculating Corleone capo.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Can't do it, Sally.
His portrayal of Tessio, a trusted ally whose betrayal of Michael Corleone led to his downfall, added a sense of tragedy and realism to The Godfather. His final scene, where he accepts his fate with quiet resignation, became one of the film's most memorable moments. Instead of fading into obscurity as some of his Godfather co-stars did, Vigoda remained a beloved figure in Hollywood. He found success in television, most notably on Barney Miller, but what truly made him a pop culture icon was the constant false reports of his death. A premature news obituary in the 1980s led to a running joke that he had passed away despite living for decades afterward. He embraced the humor, often appearing in media poking fun at the mistake. Vigoda passed away at 94, leaving behind a career filled with unforgettable roles and an unusual legacy in Hollywood. Before we dive into the journey of The Godfather's most legendary character, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Vito Corleone was played by Marlon Brando, who was 47 when he took on the role of the powerful and soft-spoken mafia patriarch.
Too late. They start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
book. His performance, with its quiet intensity, deliberate speech, and commanding presence, set a new standard for acting, making Vito one of the most iconic characters in film history. Brando's transformation into the aging crime boss, complete with his unforgettable voice and mannerisms, became legendary. Rather than following a steady Hollywood path like some of his Godfather co-stars, Brando's career was filled with controversy. Despite his genius, he was infamous for his difficult behavior on set, clashes with directors, and refusal to memorize lines. His personal life was even more turbulent. He fathered multiple children, was involved in public feuds, and faced tragedy when his son was convicted of manslaughter. He also made headlines when he refused his Oscar, sending a Native American activist in his place to protest Hollywood's treatment of indigenous people. Brando passed away at 80, leaving behind a legacy as both a cinematic genius and a Hollywood enigma. More than half a century later, The Godfather continues to influence cinema, with its cast forever cemented in Hollywood history. While some actors went on to legendary careers, others have sadly passed away, leaving behind an unforgettable legacy. Their performances in The Godfather will always be remembered as some of the greatest in film history. Which Godfather star's journey surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on your favorite movie casts.